Okay, so this is prep test 91, section 1, game 4. It's an in and out game. It says the Odowski advertising agency has exactly 7 representatives. Its new campaign is presented to exactly one client by one or more of the representatives in accordance with the following conditions. So this is a little bit more of an advanced in and out game because we just need at least one presenter, but we could have more. It's just required that we have one. So we have our presenters, which are F, J, L, M, P, and Q. It's up to you if you want to write out to the side who your one person is going to be and then kind of like include the dashes for whoever else is going to be involved. But considering this is only one person that I absolutely need, I'm just going to kind of count at the end and deal with it at the end. It's not like I have to have 5 or something like that. Seeing if you have one circled within your world is a pretty easy thing to notice rather than a certain number. So we will be doing circle slash. So circle means that it's in, slash means that it is out. Our 2 groups being you're either presenting or you're not presenting. We have to select. So do I have all 7? No, I forgot S. There we go. So we're going to go through the rules. We're going to see who's selected, who's not. And yeah, we'll do that. So the first rule says if F presents, then so does M and P. Okay, so this is saying if F presents. It's not telling me that F has to automatically present. It's just one option. My other option being F is not presenting. So because of my diagram right now, I don't know where F is. I'm going to break this up into 2 worlds. So then I do know where F is. And in one of them, I'm going to have F presenting. And in one of them, I'm going to have F not presenting. So now, according to the rule, if F presents, which is happening in that first world, then I have to also have M and P presenting. So I can circle those. Now I can't do anything in world 2 because the rule doesn't say what happens if F doesn't present. So that's about as much thought process as I'm going to put into it. M and P can do whatever they want. The rule is not directing us to what needs to be done if F doesn't present. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 says if J presents, then Q does not. Okay, so in both of these worlds, I don't know where J is. So we're going to have to attack each of them and create duplicates. So in the first world, I don't know where J is. And so in order to apply this rule, I have to figure out where J is. So I'm going to split it and have one where I do know where J is, or where J is presenting, and one where J is not presenting. Don't care which one you choose. I'm going to say it's presenting in the first one, not presenting in the second one. And I'm going to apply that rule. So when J presents, we know that Q can't. So we'll slash out Q in that world. We're going to do the same thing to 2 because we don't know where J is in 2. And in order to eliminate this rule, we have to apply it to its full extent. So in the second world, don't know where J is, only has 2 options. Either it's in or it's out. So I'm going to duplicate 2 into my 4th world. And in one of them, I'm going to circle J, and in the other, I'm going to slash J. So now I know where J is in those 2 worlds, and the rule applies when J is presenting. So that means that in the second world, we can cross out Q, and in the 4th world and the 3rd world, we can't do anything because the rule doesn't say what happens when J is not presenting. So we leave it as is. My 3rd rule says if Q does not present, then P does. Okay, so we're going to go all the way back up to our top diagram and work our way down. So in the first world, Q isn't presenting, so we're good there. The rule applies. It says that P does, which I already have P circled, so I don't have to do anything in that diagram. It's already adhering to it. In the second world, though, Q is not presenting, so the rule does apply. But that says that P is going to present, so I'm going to circle P in this world. Number 3, my world number 3, I don't know where Q is, but I do know where P is. And really either way, doesn't matter, the rule is going to follow. So because I don't know where Q is, I'm going to create that duplicate. Now, if you're able to see that no matter where Q goes, the rule is followed and nothing really changes because P is always going to be circled, you don't necessarily have to create this new world because Q is just going to kind of be a floater. It can go in or out and it's not going to violate the rule. So for the sake of practice, I'm just going to create the second world, have one where Q is slashed out, one where Q is circled, and either way, those worlds are valid. It doesn't break the rule. So we're good in that world. And number 4, I don't know where Q is. Knowing where Q is going to trigger if I have to have P or not. So I don't know where Q is. That means I'm going to make a 6th world. One where Q is happening, one where Q is not happening. And in the world where Q is not happening, the 6th world, I'm going to have P involved. So we'll circle P. Okay, easy peasy. All right, so that was my 3rd rule. My next rule says, if L presents, then either J, S, or both present. Okay. So this at first seems like a very long rule because we don't know where any of our L's are in all of our worlds, but we don't necessarily have to make 6 identical worlds and do the whole 1 in, 1 out, because the rule says that either J, S, or both are going to be present. So for example, in that 1st and 2nd world, we know that J is present. We don't know where L or we don't know where S is. But if we think about placing L in or out, if I place L in, J is in, it's reached the minimum, meaning like we just have to include one of them or both of them. So technically putting L in already makes that happen, or not makes it happen, but like nothing changes because I already have J in. And if I take L out, the rule just doesn't matter. So you could do one of 2 things. I mean, you could leave it alone if you wanted to, because putting L in or out doesn't change the diagram. And we make the worlds when there's different options available. And even when you put L in, like let's say we circle L, S doesn't change. We're not forced to do anything with S, because whether S is in or out, the rule doesn't change. Like the world doesn't violate the rule. Already with J in, we reached the minimum of that rule. We have no worries about violating it anymore. So I think just for the sake of diagram, I'll make a copy, one where L is in, one where L is out. Maybe helpful down the road, who knows? But if I was doing this in like a time setting, I don't think I would really make a copy because nothing really changes between the 2. So I'm going to have one where L is in, one where L is out. And as you can see, whether I circle or slash S, it doesn't matter because I've reached the minimum of including J. So I'm going to do the same for number 2. Oops, I meant to just do this. So I'm going to have one where L is in, one where L is out. Doesn't change anything really. So we're good there. Okay, 3 through 6. We do know where J is. J is just not included. So what that means is if we include L, we have to include S in all of those worlds because we haven't met that minimum. The minimum is one of the 2 is in there. It's fine if both are in there. So because we don't have one, if we include L, that means we're going to have to include S. So maybe I will make a copy of this just so we can have both diagrams to go off of, but I'm going to kind of do it a little quick. So like for this side, I'm going to say these are all going to be in. For this side, I'm going to say these are all going to be out for L. So we're going to say 9 here. F, J, L, M, P, Q, and S. 10, F, J, L, M, P, Q, and S. 11, F, J, L, M, P, Q, and S. And then 12, F, J, L, M, P, Q, and S. So for example, on this side, I'm just going to say these are all in. And in this side, I'm going to say these are all out. And when L is present, that means that we're going to have to force S to be present in those, what did I make, four worlds? So I have S present in those. But in my 9, 10, 11, 12, S can do whatever it wants because the rule's not applying. So, okay. Next rule says if L and S present, then M does not. Okay, this can be helpful. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the worlds that are full or where I know where most of my variables are, and get those out of the way, and then deal with the other worlds where I may or may not have to make some duplicates. Yeah. So in the first world, L and S are not both present, but it says that M cannot be present if I have L and S. So I'll write it down here. If I have L and S, that means I can't have M. So knowing up here that I have L, I have M, I don't know anything about S, because I know that M is going to be included, I have to exclude S. Because if I had circled S, that rule would apply. L and S are presenting. That rule applies, which means that M would have to be crossed out, and I can't change anything about that. So I have to force S to go out. Number 2, I'm going to leave that alone for right now because it could go either way. If I put M in, then I have to take out S. Yeah, if I put M in, then I would have to take out S. And if I put S in, then I would have to take out M. So I'm going to leave it alone for right now. I'll come back to it. But number 3, I have L and S present, and I have M present. That violates this rule. That means we cannot use this world. And actually, for the sake of like cleanliness, I'm just going to erase this. Make it a little bit easier for us to read. Number 4, I know where L and S are. They're both present, which means I have to eliminate M. And number 5 is the same as 3. L and S are present, which means that M can't be present, but I already have M circled. So I'm going to eliminate this world. It's not valid anymore. And number 6, I have L and S circled, which means that I can't have M. So I'll cross out M. So we've completed 1, 4, and 6. And again, we'll come back to 2. Okay, number 7, L, or well, actually everything on this side, L is crossed out, and L being included has to happen in order for this rule to apply. So because L is crossed out in all of these worlds, it's a free-for-all. The rule doesn't apply anymore. The rule only applies when L and S are included together. And because those 6 worlds don't include L at all, S and M can do whatever they want. They can go in, they can go out, they can both be in, they can both be out. The rule doesn't apply. So actually, I'm not going to do anything over here because M and S, they're just floaters, or well, when they're not assigned, they're just floaters. So whether I put them in or whether I keep them out, it doesn't affect the game in any way. I can just move them around as I want to, and be fine with that. So just going to leave that there. Okay. Now back to number 2. Number 2, I'm going to have to make another world because if L is included, the rule like semi applies. Knowing if S is included or not is going to determine if that rule is triggered or not. So I'm going to figure out where S is. And I'm going to make a new, actually, I'm just going to say that this is world 13. Keep it consistent. So I'm going to make a duplicate because like I said, knowing where S is going to determine if this rule gets triggered or not. So one of them, I'm going to have S included. One of them, I'm going to slash S, take it out. And in the world where S is included with L, we know that that means that M has to be crossed out. And in the world where S is excluded, nothing happens. The rule doesn't apply. Both of them have to be in order for this rule to apply. So because I have one of them out, it automatically just invalidates it. It can do whatever it wants, doesn't apply. So these are our diagrams. I will say, I think this is one of a more lengthy in and out game because we have what, 11 worlds, which is a lot for a game, but it was pretty quick. It really doesn't take too long to do like these in and out games, in my opinion. They're pretty quick once you get the habit down. So as a recap, when we slash them, that means that they're out. When we circle them, they are in. And our floaters, the ones that don't have anything assigned, so like all my S's over here, there's a P here, and M, those are floaters, so we can do whatever we want. If the rule says if P is included, what happens, I can include this world and force P to be included, so I can move them around at my leisure. Okay, so let's go into the questions. Question 17 is a typical list question. So I'm not going to use my diagrams to answer this. I'm going to use my rules to answer. We're going to eliminate the ones that are violating the rules and then select the one that doesn't violate any of our rules. So rule 1 says if F presents, then so do M and P. So if I have F over here in my answer choice, I have to have M and P together. So it's going to eliminate B and only B because this one is okay. If J presents, then Q does not. So if we have J, we cannot see Q, which eliminates E. If Q does not present, then P does. So that means if we don't see Q, we have to see P, which is going to eliminate A because I don't have Q and I don't see P in here. So it's going to eliminate A. But these two are fine because it doesn't say anything about what Q does or what P does if Q is present, which allows D to happen. And in C, Q is not present and P is present, and that follows the rule. Number 4, rule number 4, yeah. If L is present, then either J, S, or both have to be present. So L, I don't see J or S, so it's going to eliminate C. So it means D is better be my answer. If L and S present, then M does not. It doesn't even apply to this one because L and S both don't present. So D is going to be my answer. And if you need to build the confidence of your world, or if you're a little hesitant on picking an answer choice in here, we should see our worlds matching this correct answer choice. So MPQS, where can I make that happen? MPQS, that can be a number 10. We could have M, P, Q is already circled, and S, and everyone else is slashed out. So 10 would be matching with this answer choice. Okay. Next one says if L and Q both present, then which one of the following could be true? So we're going to look for the worlds where L and Q both present, and then we're going to zone in on the rest of the question. So L and Q, that can happen here. And L can't present over here, so we're good there. So this is the only one that we're able to look at. Could be true questions you can sometimes predict, or at least get your mindset Most could be true questions. We just have to have it happen once. And in a diagram like this, where pretty much everything is set in stone except for one, I would bet our correct answer choice is going to have something to do with P being in or out. No, it's not. Okay, that's fine. F presents no, J presents no, M presents no. So that eliminates A, B, and C. And then we have our number ones, which take a little bit longer. Exactly 2 of the 7 present. Could I have that happen? No, because 3 have to present. There's no way that I can only have 2. And E is going to be my answer choice because I could, well, I guess I was kind of right in my prediction. P can be out, and that would only leave these 3 to present. So I was somewhat right. It's just not as obvious of an answer choice. So E is our answer. Which one of the following representatives could be the only representative who presents? Ooh, okay. So in this one, we're looking for a world where pretty much everyone is crossed out except one. And I'm not going to look over here because L has to be presenting in all of these. So I don't see any other option where like we could have everyone crossed out. This world, we could have Q be the only one presenting, which is kind of interesting. Oh, we could also have P. We could slash out M and S. I think those are the only 2 worlds. So I'm looking for a Q or a P, and my answer choice is D, Q. Interesting. So even if I didn't, like, let's say number 10 wasn't the one that I immediately looked at. Let's say it was 12. Even if I predicted P and didn't see it in there, it means I'm either not seeing the, like, I'm not looking at my correct diagram or something's wrong. So if you come across a question where you hate all of your answer choices or you like more than one, something's wrong with your diagram, you need to reevaluate. Okay. Next one says, which one of the following cannot be true? So our wrong answer choices are going to be those that could be true. And our correct answer choice 100% can never happen in our diagrams. So could it be true that F and Q both present? Yeah, that can happen at least once. Actually, I think only once. F and Q can present here, so that's eliminated. J presents, but P does not present. So can I exclude P and include J? I don't see that happening. Because every time J is presenting, I have to have P. So I like this one so far. Neither J nor Q presents. So can I cross out J and Q? Yep, I can have that happen down here. J and Q crossed out. That means that C's wrong. Only M and P presents. Okay, I'm thinking about that one world where P was the only one, and I could circle M and have them be the only ones presenting, so that could be true. Neither J nor S presents, but F presents. So crossing out J and S, having F. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen here and in 11 again. F presents and J and S crossed out. So B is going to be my answer. Okay. Next one says, if exactly 2 of the representatives present, then which one of the following representatives cannot be one of the 2 who present? Okay, so my first task is to figure out the worlds where only 2 representatives present. And I'm thinking about those worlds where we had one of them presenting, so 10 and 11. So we could have P and M and S, or Q and M and P or S. Can there be any other diagrams? Could happen here. I could slash out these 2 and only have J and P. I think that's it. Yeah. So one of these. Okay. So we're only in those 3 worlds. Which one of the following representatives cannot be one of the 2 present? Okay. So we're looking for a variable that is not circled. Also, like another way of thinking about it is if I have J and P presenting, that can't be my correct answer choice. So I think you could go about it two ways. You can look at those that can present and like predict that those are going to be the wrong answer choices, or you can look at the answer choices and just go, do they have to be crossed out in all of them? So J and P, I can cross out C then. I can cross out Q because I can have that here. I can cross out S so I can have that in these two worlds. And I can cross out M because I have that being an option here and here. So my answer choice is L, and that's also visible here. L is always crossed out, but that also doesn't mean that L is going to be the answer where it's crossed out all the way down. It could have also been F because it's crossed out in all of the worlds. It could have been S. Wait, no, sorry, I lied because S could be picked. So yeah, I guess the only other answer choice would be F. Could have been F as an answer choice too. Okay. And last one, if F presents, then which one of the following must be true? Okay, so we're gonna look at the worlds where F is presenting. I have 1, 7, 9, and 11. Those are the only worlds that we can look at. We're looking for what must be true. I always encourage students to try to predict these because they're easy to predict. We just look for what's consistent. Doesn't mean that's going to be your answer choice, but it gets your head in the right space. So, well, obviously F could be presenting. Could be true, or it has to be true that M is going to be presenting in all of them. Has to be true that P is going to present in all of them. Yes. That's kind of what I'm going into the answer choice thinking is M and P, one of them have to present, of which none are my answer choices. So, okay. At least 3 of the representatives present. Does that have to be true? That has to be true. And 1, I have 5. And 7, I have 4. And 9, I have to have 3. And 11, I have to have 4. I absolutely hate it when my answer is A or E because it makes me freak out. So we're going to look down the rest and hope and pray that they are wrong. At most, 4 of the representatives present. See, that doesn't have to be true right away because we said in 1, we have to have 5 presenting, F, J, L, M, and P. So eliminate B. Neither J nor Q presents. That doesn't have to be true because in 1, I could have J presenting. So immediately rule C out. Exactly 1 of S or S presents. That's an odd way of wording that. Basically, what it's saying is we can't have both of them presenting. Only one of them can present, which is that could be true. Because then I only have L, and this one I would have S, S, and S. Am I missing another world? I'm gonna leave that open for now. Either J, S, or both present. J, S, or both. Oop, go back. Okay. J, J. See, that doesn't have to be true because in 9, I could have both of them excluded. So what is with D and A? If F presents, have my diagrams. Which one of the following must be true? 4, 3, 4. Exactly 1 of L or S presents. Okay, D does not have to be true because I could in 7, 9, and 11 have neither of them present. So we can eliminate D. So our correct answer choice is going to be A, at least 3 of the representatives present. So that's the game. It is a game 4, but I do think it is, I mean, it's an in and out game. In and out games are a little bit easier than the other games, but this one does get a little lengthy. So if you mess up on a duplication or something, can definitely be tricky to bounce back from, but that's why we practice. So hopefully that answered any questions. If you have any others, let me know.